We have some unfortunate news coming out of NASCAR and the NASCAR Hall of Fame yesterday as the 1960 NASCAR champion Rex White actually passed away. Unfortunately, he was a rather older gentleman. He was born in 1929, and it was expected that he may pass away at some point. And Rex White was the 1960 champion. Throughout his career, he amassed a very large amount of success through 233 starts, 28 wins, 110 top fives, 163 top tens, 36 times he was on the pole position. He ran 48,512 laps while leading 4,850 of them. He led 10% of the laps that he competed in the NASCAR Cup Series, which is astonishing, earning $223,511. Through the course of his career, he was a driver who was one of the early pioneers of NASCAR, starting in his career in 1956 and ending it in 1964, racing from ages 26 to 34. Rex White was one of the first few drivers in NASCAR. He competed for the first factory Chevrolet team and began racing, as I said, in '56. And he raced part-time in '57, winning twice in '58. 6 races in his championship season were wins in 1960 when he raced in 40 of 44 events, having 25 top fives and 35 top tens with 3 pole positions, leading 541 of the 8,921 laps he competed. For his efforts, he made $57,000, an average start of 6.4 and an average finish of 5.3. 37 times he was running at the finish, so 3 times he failed to finish, but he only finished on the lead lap 13 times that season and only finished on the lead lap 57 times of the 177 times he was running at the finish in his career. And with that information, you may ask, well, why did he not finish on the lead lap so often? Well, back in the day, things like reliability were not as good as they are now. There was also a much stiffer or much larger amount of competition, and very frequently NASCAR would race on tracks that are much smaller than those today. There also was no free pass for drivers who needed to get back on the lead lap after a caution. You had to get your lap back the hard way, meaning by passing the leader. And if you couldn't pass the leader on track, you didn't get your lap back. You'll frequently see this happen during green flag pit stops. A car will go a lap down because it takes more than a lap to pit, and then as the leader comes in, they'll gain their lap back and cycle through back into the position that they were in. But that's not what this was. This was Rex White and other drivers had things of that nature. In 1974, he was elected to the National Motorsports Press Association Hall of Fame and was named one of the 50 greatest drivers in 1998 for NASCAR's 50th anniversary. With that, we have to think to ourselves, well, is he one of the 50 greatest drivers? And I would argue yes, considering he has about the same number of wins as somebody like Ricky Rudd. He has a championship. Pretty much everybody who has a championship that is eligible is in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and I think that is probably a really good idea to allow people who are, or to say that people who have won a championship are in the Hall of Fame. His first win was the 1959 race number 5, and his first race was, this is in the convertible division. His best finish was 51st. He ran 5 races, 1 win, 3 top 10s, and a pole. Okay. His first race was at Daytona Beach, and his last race was the Dixie 400 at Atlanta. So he started on the beaches and ended at one of the paved super speedways. And when you can have a career that spans like that and show that you can do things, he won at Fayetteville and he won at Atlanta in '62. When you show that you can do things like that, you are a driver who deserves to be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. He was elected into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. What year was he? I think 2017. He never won the Daytona 500, but that's fine. Never winning the Daytona 500 isn't the end of the world, because you can have a very successful career without a Daytona 500 win, and he did. He had a Hall of Fame career. It was announced yesterday that he did pass away at the age of 95, having lived a full life, living since 1929. He was born during the Great Depression and died during the second presidency of Donald Trump. Something that I'm sure many people can say, but not many people can say that they are a NASCAR Cup Series champion.